The Flint Firebirds have their home opener on Saturday, and they're riding a little bit of momentum from this weekend's big win in the I-75 Divide Cup against Saginaw. It was a huge boost for Flint, and it's just a step to build off of last season.
The last couple of years, they've had our number, and we got our fair ground in that game. We pulled out the dub for that game, so we got a big week of practice this week, and we're going to get ourselves prepared for this weekend.
We were almost 500 in the second half, not the greatest start, but it feels good to get the first one out of the way and many more to come.
As you can see with a good old hockey hug, camaraderie is at an all-time high in Flint. And albeit early, head coach Eric Wellwood says he's already seeing significant changes from last season, where they finished last in the West at 16-46. One of the biggest growths that he is seeing is the defensive zone structure starting to take shape.
They've had a tough go here the last couple of years, and I think they're ready to go. They want to be a part of a team that has success, and they're willing to do what is necessary to have that success. And when you have them bought in, it makes my job a lot easier.
There is good news and bad news for Michigan football. Bad news first. In a poll of 13,500 people done by Insight Pest, the Wolverines were voted as the third most annoying football program. But here's the good news, everybody. The world is still more annoyed by Ohio State. The Buckeyes ranked second as the program that bugged the most people. Michigan was in third, and in front at number one handedly was Alabama. Now, as MSU gets ready for homecoming against Indiana, their national leading defense is making headlines. They're third in rushing defense, fifth in total defense, and ninth in sacks. Their leader, Joe Bacci, was named Big Ten Defensive Player of the Week again. And on the other hand, the offense made the improvement that people have been needing to see. Brian Lewerke ranks third in the Big Ten in passing and total offense as a whole. The Spartans went 4-5 from the red zone on Saturday. That's an offense that Mark D'Antonio is finally pleased with.
I think our quarterback's playing well, and gives you always, when your quarterback plays well, it always gives you a chance. And he's playing very well with only one pick. Tough to sack.
Let's talk hoops a little bit now. The Spartans held their first official preseason practice today, 6 weeks out from their season opener against Kentucky. Tom Izzo is aware of the challenge of a tough schedule. He says their goals are to win championships and get better, not necessarily win 40 games a season. That is why he scheduled teams like Kentucky in the fall.
What happens in October, November, December matters to me, and only from the standpoint of us learning what we got to do with our team. I said it a million times. It started with John Chaney explaining to me that if you play good people, you figure out if you're not very good. You figure out if you are very good. You figure out what you want and what you don't want.
Let's relish in Sunday's win over Philly just a little bit longer. And we have the right to talk about dropping the ball, don't we? We did live through Eric Ebron. So Nelson Aguilar, he has been catching a lot of slack the last two games for drops like this one against the Lions on Sunday. Now, in the most petty and Philly fashion possible, how is this for getting called out?
I ran back downstairs. By that time, the ladder truck was pulling up, and ironically, one of my old coworkers took the ladder off the truck, raised it up, and was assisting people down. My man just started throwing babies out the window. And we was catching them, unlike Aguilar.
Oh, burned at the scene of a fire. But how good of a sport is Nelson Aguilar? He saw the interview from Sunday night, and his way of responding was by not only thanking him for being a local hero, but also by inviting the Philly fan to the next Eagles home game. You got to pull for a guy like that. You kind of feel bad when players have bad games, and then he responds like that. You hope he turns around.
Really cool. Definitely a Philly sports fan.
And he has the Packers coming up, so you definitely hope things start to click against Green Bay.
Absolutely.
Take them down.
Yes, that would be good news. Jamie, next. Final look at our forecast.